What's up, guys? Marco's back with another video for you guys today. So as you can see in the bed of the truck, I've got some tires loaded up. Over the weekend I picked up a set of Falken wildpeak at3ws that are every bit of like 80% tread and paid like basically 50% of what retail normally is for them. So went ahead and picked those up. Those are 265/70/17s. Those aren't going to be going on my truck, but they are going to be going on my truck's stocks. So actually, as of right now, my dad has an ko2 Toyota Tundra Axis cab, and I actually gave him my stocks, I think like early last year, so probably like around like a year ago. I gave him my stocks because he was running, his tires were running pretty low, and he wasn't exactly in a good spot money-wise due to health reasons. So I helped him out and gave him my stocks since I basically wasn't going to finish them off, and gave him to him. And it was nice because my 04 Limited stocks were nicer than his 02 Axis Cab SR5 stocks that were some Steelies. And I gave it to him with a set of 265/70/17 Bfg ko2s, and I personally really like the look of an all-terrain, and I don't really mind the extra road noise because of the fact that I know that they're going to get me in and out of where it is that I personally take my truck. So basically my truck, it's basically a pavement princess, but I do use it for work, and I hook up a landscape trailer to it. So every once in a while I do have to go into like the landfill or landscape yards, and even when it's, you know, rained out or whatever, I do still go in there with the trailer hooked up. My truck is the only four-wheel drive vehicle of my household right now, so whenever it does snow or ice, which is a rare occasion here in North Georgia, but it does, my truck is basically the one to like go out and, you know, pick up people, you know, from my household or anything like that if they can't manage to get back home. So I know that with an all-terrain I'm going to be able to do that. I don't wheel my truck, so I don't need anything like super aggressive, but the Bfg ko2 has been an excellent tire. However, my dad, he doesn't like the added road noise. He actually prefers a highway terrain tire for tread life, and like I said, smooth ride, plus the cab stays pretty quiet. However, since his truck is a two-wheel drive, I did highly suggest that he stay with an all-terrain. I was just kind of trying to, you know, convince him, and I finally found a set of those Falken wildpeak at3ws, which I had been wanting to try out, but I actually wanted to pick up a set of those for the 4Runner. I was trying to convince him to stay with BFGs since late last year, which was like in like November 2018. Before I went down to Mexico, I was actually going to throw my stocks on my truck and take off my 20x12s to take my truck down to Mexico. His tires needed a tire rotation, and he had a nail in one, so I had a shop pull the tires off, pull that tire off to patch it. But in the process, they ended up tearing one of the beads off of a Bfg ko2, so I replaced one with a brand new one. And so I was trying to tell my dad to just get 3 Bfg ko2s instead of wasting money, but get them brand new. Didn't work out. Anyways, I picked up a set of 5th gen TRD off-road wheels for the 4Runner, and they still have good tread life on the highway terrains on that one, so we're probably going to finish those off before we pick up the set of tires for that vehicle. And I did Bilstein 5100s and lower ball joints on my dad's truck, and I didn't take it again in alignment because it didn't really seem like it needed it. Ended up wearing out 2 of the Bfg ko2s pretty badly on the outside. So he was kind of like, all right, you know, like I really need tires now. Came across this deal. So we're going to go ahead and go pick up his truck right now. He's at work. I didn't work today. We're going to go pick up his truck, throw these in the back of his truck, and get them mounted and get in alignment. And I'll give you guys a short-term review of what I personally think of Falken wildpeak at3ws versus Bfg ko2s. This is going to be more or less a kind of like a highway comparison, and see what it is that road noise is compared to the Bfgs that are on my dad's truck right now. Which, for the record, I'm sure that the Bfgs on my dad's truck right now are going to be louder than these Falken wildpeak at3ws, simply because of the fact that they're more worn. And obviously everybody knows that with an aggressive tire, the more worn they are, the less tread life there is, the louder that they usually tend to get. So without further ado, let's go ahead and head on down. I gave him a call that I was on my way to pick up his truck, so let's go ahead and get to his truck. I'll catch up with you guys in a bit. Alright guys, so we just got here to my dad's job. There's his truck. We're just gonna get these Falcons loaded up into his, and we'll head on out. It's a nice second gen. I don't know whose truck this is, but whoever's it is, it's pretty nice. There's another first gen here in the parking lot. I'll try to get a quick clip of it as we drive by. So let's get these things loaded and hit the road. Alright, so now you can see interior change. We're in my dad's truck. I call this truck the OG, the original gangster. You know, honestly, it's like, we used to have a little old station wagon like way back in the day, and that was like the only vehicle that my dad had at the moment. And that's when he went and purchased this truck. I was actually like 4 at the time. I actually still remember going to the dealership. I remember the test drive and everything on this truck. This is actually the first vehicle that my dad ever bought new. So this truck was our only vehicle for a long time. He got it like in November 2001, and it was basically our only vehicle until I think it was like March 2011, which was when he picked up a 2011 Honda Pilot that he bought brand new. So this truck honestly set the bar for like all vehicles. It made me fall in love with first gens. You know, being a 4-year-old, your dad's truck, it's the coolest thing out there. And this truck, it really hasn't given us like any major problems over the years. It's had like issues with like misfires due to my dad not changing out spark plugs in time and stuff like that. But like other than that, honestly, this truck has been stout. It actually currently has 206,512 miles on it. And I remember this truck gave us less problems in the years that we've owned it than the 2011 Honda Pilot did in the years that we had it. And we actually took this truck down to Mexico 3 times, and took it a couple times down to Florida, a couple times up to like Tennessee and the Carolinas, and it always just went and brought you back from your destination, you know, zero issues, zero hesitation. We took this truck to Alabama to pick up the 4Runner when we bought it, and it did great there too. It is just a 3.4 two-wheel drive. So it's a 3.4 V6 and 2-wheel drive SR5, but I mean it's a relatively nice truck. It just needs a little TLC, just a little bit of tender love and care. Needs to get cleaned more regularly and stuff like that. Here's the other first gen. I don't know which one of his coworkers drives it, but let's go ahead and get these tires mounted, and I'll give you guys a quick walk around of his truck when we get to the shop, just so you guys can see it, what it currently looks like with the BFG ko2s and my stocks. And I'll catch up with you guys in a bit. Alright, so like I said, here's my dad's truck. O2 access cab, 2-wheel drive V6. Here are the BFG ko2s that are currently on it. Like I said, these were originally like the first set of tires that I bought for my truck when I picked it up back in 2015. Personally, I'm a big fan of the look of the BFG ko2s. However, I do know that they do kind of have some balancing issues, and when I install these, I actually used to work at an auto shop at a Christian Brothers, and I installed them, and they were taking a lot of weights and stuff to balance them out, so it was constantly kind of like a balance issue. But they performed phenomenally in mud and in snow and in ice, so I like them. I got another set, but here are the Falken wildpeak at3ws that we'll be getting installed on his truck. They are the same size, 265/70/17s, same size that are on it right now. That's how it sits with the Bilstein 5100s. I believe that's at the second notch, so it was only like a 1-inch or like a 1.5-inch lift, I don't remember. So yeah guys, there it is. I'll get you guys a walk around once the at3ws are installed, and I'll probably be driving this truck back to him. So once that's all done, I will give you guys my short-term review of on-road manners of the at3ws versus the ko2s. Okay guys, so this is later on in the evening. I totally forgot to record this snip when I dropped my dad's truck off back at his job. So here are what the Falcons look like on the stocks. When I drove it back after I went to and got these mounted on at discount, I had to go to Tires Plus to get an alignment done, and when I drove back from Tires Plus over to my dad's job, these things were ridiculously smooth. Like, they literally felt like a highway terrain. the 4Runner currently has some Bridgestone Dueler HTs, highway terrains, and I'm not gonna lie, those are probably a tad bit louder than the Falken wildpeak at3ws are. These things were super duper quiet in the cab, rode ridiculously smooth. I drove the truck, well, basically on everything from, you know, 0 miles an hour to roughly about like 75, just to get it up to speed and see what it was that they drove like and what the road like. And yeah, big thumbs up for on-road manners. I can't say how they do in mud and ice. I'm curious as to see how the truck will do over the winter if we happen to get any ice or any snow, especially considering it's a two-wheel drive, which is the main reason that I was trying to get him to stick with an all-terrain, just because I know he's the kind of guy to, like, even if it does snow or ice, he's still going to go to work, he's still going to drive to work, and he more than likely will take his truck. And he's not the kind of guy to, like, put any weight in the bed of his truck or anything like that. He's always gotten it in and out of the neighborhood. And actually right down the street from us, there's like 2 or 3 big hills that you have to get out of. They have to go up to get out of the neighborhood. Oh, there goes my cousin. And so hopefully these will help the truck get in and out of any situation like that. I actually looked these up, and they do make a 305/55 R20, so the Falken wildpeak at3w will definitely be a strong contender for my next set of tires for the 20x12s. Luckily, these ko2s still have a good bit of meat on them, but yeah, they look really, really good too. Only downside is they don't have any raised white letter for a sidewall, which was one of my favorite things about the 265 set of ko2s that I had. Big fan of raised white letters. These 305/55 R20 ko2s don't have any raised white letter either, so I was kind of bummed out about that, but it is what it is. So for anybody considering a set of tires, Falken wildpeak at3ws, big thumbs up on my behalf. See you guys on the next one.